story time, Bible story time, ASMR. I just read different Bible stories to y'all. This little Bible book that here, Genesis 1:1-324. And the story. This is a story of creation, like Adam and Eve. In the beginning, the earth did not exist, only darkness. Out of this nothingness, the Lord God created the world in 7 days. So weak. God spoke and said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God said that the light was good, and he decided to separate the light from the darkness. He called the light day and the darkness night. He made the stars. He also created morning and evening the first day. On the second day, God made the heavens and the earth. He separated the clouds in the heavens from the waters of the earth. There was early morning and evening the second day. The third day, God made the land bring forth vegetation and seed-bearing plants that would reproduce. Again, there was morning and evening. Now that God has established a separation from night and morning from evening, God then separated time. He divided it into 4 such seasons: winter, spring, summer, and fall, just like we know today. This was for the 4th day. On the 5th day, God made living creatures to fly in the sky and fill the waters. He made many of each species and told them to multiply. There was also morning and evening on the 5th day. On the 6th day, God said, "Let," I quote, "let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds, and let there be livestock, creatures that move along the ground, and wild animals such according to its kind," end quote. And God made it on the 6th day. God saw that he created was good. And he decided to make humans in his own image, to rule over all that had been made. He created a male, obviously being Adam, and a female named Eve. And he told them to multiply. And long story short, obviously God pretty much, took a rib from Adam, put him in deep sleep, took a rib from Adam, and created Eve out of that. And that's pretty much how God created Adam and Eve, and then Eve to be Adam's wife. And God had now finished. Therefore, on the 7th day, God rested. He blessed the 7th day and made it holy, which obviously is known as, Sunday when you go to church. The Lord God had planted a garden in the east of Eden, where Adam and Eve would dwell in harmony with the beasts, fish, and fowl. It's like birds. It's fowl as birds. God planted a tree of life tree of life and knowledge. Of good and evil. God told Adam and Eve not to eat from the fruit of the tree of knowledge, or they would surely die. In the midst of God's paradise also lived the serpent. The crafty snake would soon change the destiny of all mankind. And so pretty much after that, unfortunately Adam and Eve, they ended up eating from the tree of knowledge, an apple from the tree of knowledge, when the serpent convinced them to. And obviously the serpent is obviously, devil. And the devil is obviously one of the fallen angels. But that's pretty much a whole long story. That's a whole long story to get into. But we'll just summarize it, especially for the younger audience out there. I could go into it, but it'll be a really long video. And so the book has what it means stuff. So there is power in speech. God spoke and created all that exists. Our speech is a powerful tool. We must learn to use it wisely. Rest is important and necessary. If God rested, surely we must. God can create order from chaos, both in the universe and in individual lives. So the next story in the book is Noah and the Ark, Genesis 6-9. Soon the earth was full of people. As the years went by, the people forgot all about God. They forgot how God wanted them to behave. God saw how wicked, or bad, and unhappy the people had become, and he felt sorry for them. Because God loves you no matter what. Even if you're a saint or a sinner, he still cares about you, and so does Jesus. God saw that Noah tried to live his life God's way. He never cheated, lied, or took anything that belonged to someone else. This pleased God. God told Noah to warn the people to stop misbehaving. If they don't, God told him, I will bring a great flood to this earth to wash away all the evil. But God promised to save Noah and his family from the floods. He instructed Noah to build an enormous ark big enough to house a number of species of every living creature. Noah and his sons Shem, Ham, and Japheth began to build the ark. It took many years. Noah tried to warn the people what was to come, but they did not mend their ways. But no one listened. No one listened. Everyone laughed at Noah for building this huge structure, but no one believed in God. Everything was ready. Animals and birds began to make their way toward the ark. Instinct to seek shelter from the coming storm brought them to the ark, just as God planned. Noah and his family went to the ark and waited for the storm. The people laughed at them, but they remained inside. 7 days passed while Noah and his family waited inside the ark. Then the sky clouded over. There were strange rumbling noises on the ground. It began to rain. It rained for 40 days and 40 nights until the earth was covered with water. Tidal waves swept the earth. Everything outside the ark was destroyed. So like tidal waves are pretty much like really, really big waves, like tsunami kind of thing. So you're talking like really big waves of water, and like imagine the ocean, but all over the ground, that you can't even see the ground or anything. That's pretty much, to summarize in the picture in your head, that's kind of what it looked like. And obviously the ark being a really big boat. Another 150 days came and went. Inside the ark, Noah and his family were busy tending to the animals. A wind began to blow and the waters began to recede. Then one day the mountaintops began to reappear. The ark came to rest on one of the mountain peaks. Noah waited 2 months, then he sent out a dove, so like it's like a white bird, to see if he could find some dry ground to settle on. The bird came back almost right away. Noah waited and sent another bird, which came back with a green leaf in its beak. When Noah sent it out again, it didn't come back. This showed Noah that the bird had found a new home on dry ground. The flood waters were gone. Noah looked up and he saw a beautiful sight. God had placed a rainbow in the sky. The world was ready to begin anew. And so pretty much from there, they pretty much rebuilt. The society was rebuilt and redone. As God was trying to get rid of all the sin and people who are doing really bad things. And then each one has, like I said before, has a what it means part. This one says, hold on to your faith, even in the face of ridicule. Those who love and obey God will be spared from his wrath. Even the worst of storms will eventually pass. So pretty much, as long as you believe in Jesus, you'll be able to be saved. Saved from your sins and spared. Now we will still face judgment, face God in judgment, and see what he has for us. But as long as you believe, you'll be saved. As long as you believe, you have to believe. Be a good person. And just do what you have to do, and have faith, and believe in God, and all that stuff. And afterwards, in the afterlife, when we go to heaven for judgment, we do it. Just make sure we believe in Jesus and everything, so we can be saved. We do it right, become a good person. That way, we can all enter heaven. And who knows? Maybe we'll all even meet up in heaven someday. Never know. And after all, like I said, I like to think that some people come in your life for a reason. And it could be God put them in a reason. Who knows? Maybe even when we go to heaven, those people that you saw that you didn't think much of, they might have been the people that the people that, God wouldn't be in your life, and maybe you meet them in heaven again, you never know. Abram was the great-grandson of Noah. Like his ancestors, Abram had a close relationship with God. One day the Lord spoke to Abram and told him to leave his country, his people, and his father's household and go to a land that God would show him. God promised Abram that if he did as he commanded, he would bless Abram and make him father of many nations. I will bless them that bless thee, God said, and curse him that curseth thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. Before I forget to, this is the story of God and Abraham. Abram did as God had commanded. He took his wife Sarai, I think, something like that, his nephew Lot, and all their possessions, and left Haran to go to Canaan, where God directed him. When they reached Canaan, people were already there, yet God told Abram that he would possess this land. So Abram built an altar and began to pray. Abram continued to travel southward as God instructed him. Abram encountered many obstacles before he reached his destination. In the midst of fame and war, the Lord came to Abram in another vision, saying, "Do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield, your very great reward." Later, as Abram pondered his vision, he told God that no matter how much wealth God gave him, it would not matter because Abram had no offspring to inherit it. Abram was 75 years old at the time, but God promised that he would father a child. Later, Abram revealed God's promise to his wife Sarai. She was shocked because she believed that she was too old to bear a child. Sarai and Abram to take Hagar, her Egyptian handmaiden, as his wife to father a child of his own blood. Abram did as his wife instructed, and his wife's handmaiden bore him a son named Ishmael, something like that. 15 years later, when Abram was 90, God visited Abram again and told him, "Yes, you have a child with Hagar, and I will bless him. However, you will also have a child with Sarai. This was impossible, Abram explained, for Sarai was far beyond her childbearing years, and this was impossible. Sarai overheard the conversation, began to laugh. God's response had sounded throughout the ages. Is there anything impossible for God? Of course, Abram and Sarai had a son they named Isaac. From the bloodline of Isaac, many nations would spring. When God blessed Abram and Sarai, their names were changed to Abraham and Sarah. The blessings that God promised were fulfilled. To this day, Abraham is considered the father of many nations. This story is what it means. God may contact us to do his will. When God asks us to do something, he will make all provisions. God guides and provides. God's way far exceed our meager minds. Abram jumped ahead of God and had a baby with Hagar because he could not envision Sarai having a baby at her age. There is nothing too difficult for God. Which, again, more proof shows that, no matter what hard obstacles there may be or what may seem impossible, God can do it. For there's nothing impossible for God. Though he did create the heavens and the earth and gave us the world that we know as we know it. The next story, Joseph and his brothers. Genesis 37. Joseph was the youngest son of Jacob. Because Joseph was born to Jacob, and he was old, his father favored him above his 10 older sons. Jacob had a special robe of many colors and special ornaments made for Joseph. This caused the other brothers to be very jealous of Joseph. One day when Joseph was 17, he told his brothers of a dream that he had. In the dream, Joseph and his brothers were binding sheaves of grain out of the field when suddenly Joseph's sheaf rose and stood upright, and the brothers' sheaves gathered around and bowed down to Joseph's sheaf. The brothers were outraged at Joseph's dream and asked him if that meant that Joseph would actually rule over them one day. Joseph had another dream in which the sun, moon, and the stars bowed down to him. When he shared this dream with his family, his father scolded him and asked, "Do you expect your brother and mother and I to bow down before you?" One day, while the older brothers had gone to graze their father's sheep, Jacob told Joseph to go and see if all was well. When Joseph arrived at this place where the brothers were supposed to be, they were not there. Then a man asked Joseph why was he wandering around. He told him he was looking for his brothers. The man told Joseph they had traveled to a place called Dothan. Joseph went toward Dothan. As Joseph approached, his brothers saw him from afar and began to plot against him, saying, "Here comes the dreamer. Let's kill him and see what becomes of his dreams." One brother, Reuben, did not want to see Joseph harmed. Reuben suggested that they throw Joseph into a pit instead, and so they did. Then a caravan of Midianites, someone to say that, I'm not trying to pronounce it, came along. The older brothers sold Joseph for 20 pieces of silver. The Midianites sold Joseph as a slave in Egypt. When Reuben returned to the pit, Joseph was gone. In the meantime, the wicked brothers had killed an animal and put the animal's blood on Joseph's beautiful coat. They returned the coat to their father, saying, "Is this Joseph's coat that you had made for him?" The blood must mean that he was been devoured by some ferocious animal. This almost killed Jacob. Many years passed. Joseph grew up on his own and found favor at the Pharaoh by interpreting the ruler's dreams. As a result, Joseph was appointed to be a high governmental official by the Pharaoh. Soon after, there was famine all over the land. Food was scarce. Joseph was placed in charge of the food distribution. Since there was no food in Israel, Jacob and his family went to Egypt in search of food, and they found it. Here Jacob discovered that his beloved son was alive. And just as Joseph's dream had foretold, Joseph's father, mother, and brothers bowed before him as they accepted Joseph's gift of food. Joseph invited his family to live with him in Egypt, and for many years the Israelites prospered and lived happily together. Now, what it means part for this story. Jealousy leads to wickedness in thought, word, and deed. God gives visions that often lead us to our destiny. We must be wise to know when and where to share our dreams. Our setbacks can be blessings in disguise. What God has given you, no one can take from you. Which is very, very true. When you really think about it. Really, really true. And, alright, so I'm going to pretty much end it right here with that. And if this is something that you guys are interested in, of course, remember to leave likes and everything. And just to leave likes and comments on what you thought about it and everything. It helps me a great deal to know what kind of content you guys like. So I'm trying to trying to probably recently been doing a couple of different videos, different pilot videos as I call them. That way I could see, kind of like a TV show. They do the pilot episode, and see if different pilot videos work. So that way I know what series work, which one's kind of like, did okay, but not enough that it would be, a continuous video. So that way I know what ASMR series kind of videos you guys like. So that way I know what videos I can continue to make, manufacture, produce, however you want to put it. But yeah, I know I'll know what content to create, So I know what content to create for you guys to enjoy and to watch and all that good stuff. But yeah, definitely bringing back the 70s ASMR video that had such positive results. I'm definitely gonna do that again. Continue to have my retro series. And I'm thinking about doing something like that with all the decades, so like even like 60s, 50s, maybe even do like 20s, like the roaring 20s, and the swinging 60s, and all that different stuff. 80s, 90s, maybe even the early 2000s. The early 2000s would be a little bit difficult, but so I'll need more time to think about how to do that one. But yeah, different decades and everything as part of the retro series. Like different ideas that could work. And I definitely want to bring back the Walking Dead ASMR. That was a good one. And I actually have I have one for the 60s. It's a really good idea. I think people will really like. I just need a little extra time to finish up like the script, how I want the storyline to go, and what I want to say, and different stuff like that. But it should be done soon and everything. But yeah, that's pretty much just an idea of what's coming. And then some old roleplay videos and just regular videos I used to do on my old channel. I'm gonna try to redo those videos too and bring them back on and I'll re-upload them and everything. So there's that. And I got a couple of more ideas of pilot videos I'm gonna do. Again, just so that way I know like idea of what kind of stuff you guys really like and what you guys really want to watch. So that way again I know what kind of videos I need to be making.